We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant. I noticed when I was walking into the house that there's some pretty large cracks kind of going up both sides of the door and a very large crack around the archway above the door.
All the air leakage sites that you've just identified, doors, windows, large gaps and cracks on the outside, whether it's a brick or siding house, all of those contribute to air infiltration. My recommendation would be a siliconized acrylic latex caulk. Now, latex caulk allows you to wash it off your hands, and it goes on very smooth and gives you a nice bead.
Okay, we want to seal the cracks around the doors and windows. Typically it's in the trim around the windows and doors. We're going to use a siliconized acrylic latex caulk, and that'll seal those gaps and keep the cold air from coming in from the outside. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to backfill this large crack, and since it's a pretty deep crack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some small diameter foam weather strip and I'm going to kind of stuff it in to give a backstop for the caulk so the caulk gets a good seal. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and apply the caulk to the crack. We want to try to run a continuous bead and then come back and tool it. What we want to do is we want to get a good continuous bead so that we get a good airtight seal. Okay, now I'm going to smooth out the caulk, and the best way to do that is with your finger. I like to have a moist paper towel. Get your finger wet and then kind of run your finger across, and any excess caulk you can just wipe it on the paper towel and get a nice smooth finish on the caulk. We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant. I'm going to install a door jamb weather strip set and a door sweep, but what exactly is that going to do, Kelly?
We want to stop the air before it ever gets in. So installing, if this were your door and this was a jam up weather stripping, installing it directly in contact with the door, and then you want to take a credit card and slide down and make it difficult for the credit card or driver's license to slide down so that you have good contact with the weather stripping and the door.
Okay, we're here at the home center, and what we want to do now is we want to seal the leaks from the tops and the sides of the door. The best product for that is our door jamb weather strip kit. It installs on the door jamb. It has a vinyl bulb that seals against the door and keeps any air from leaking in. To install the door jamb weather strip, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a measurement on the two sides from the bottom of the door all the way to the top along the door stop. We're going to cut both side pieces to length. You can cut the metal with a hacksaw. You can cut the vinyl with a pair of scissors or utility knife. We're going to push the door jamb strip up so it's just snug against the door. Then we're going to mark each one of our holes where the screws go with a pencil. Once that's done, we're going to drill pilot holes with a drill bit for our screws to go into. You want to install the strip on the side where your door lock is, then you want to install the strip on the other side. Once both strips are installed, then you want to take a measurement across the top between the two strips. You'll cut your top strip to length, and you'll install it in the same fashion as you did the side strips. One thing you want to be sure of is when you install your screws, you don't want to tighten them all the way. That allows you to adjust to make sure that the door will shut properly. Once you're satisfied that the door is shutting properly, you can snug up all your screws. We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant.
As houses age, the doors and the thresholds tend to move. And so rechecking even an old threshold or an old door sweep, rechecking that with new material would even be best. It's very important to constantly check, make this part of your spring weatherization as you're looking toward spring or toward fall. that you're looking at each one of these elements, making sure that the weather stripping is still pliable, or the door sweep is still pliable, so that as you open the door, you close the door, either way, they come in direct contact and that product is sealing to stop the air infiltration.
Okay, we're now here at the home center and we've determined that we've got a leak under the door. Basically, we would use a door sweep to seal the air from coming under the door. For example, if it was a white door, we would use a white door sweep. Since we've got a wood finish door, we're going to use this oak finish sweep, and the vinyl seal will keep the cold drafts from coming under the door. Okay, we've been to the home center, we've picked up our door sweep. What we're going to do is we're going to install this door sweep along the bottom of the door. This vinyl seal will keep any cold drafts from coming through. The steps to install the sweep are basically, you're going to measure the width of the door, cut your sweep to that width, place the sweep up against the door, mark where your holes are going to be for your screws. You're going to drill some pilot holes and then tighten your screws and adjust the sweep. We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant, and I'm going to ask Kelly some questions about how we can make this home more energy efficient. I know there's other types of weather strip that maybe are a little bit easier for somebody that doesn't have the tools or the know-how to kind of install a more sophisticated door jamb set.
It might be best to put in a foam tape product, and that's a sticky foam tape. You peel it apart and stick it to the door jamb. And when the door closes against it, it closes against that foam tape, thereby sealing it.
The problem we have is we have drafts coming through the tops and the sides of the door. We're going to use this all climate weather strip to seal around the tops and the sides to keep the cold air from coming through. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to apply the foam weather strip tape to the door stop on the side where your doorknob is. So when you apply it, you want to make sure that the surface is clean. I've already cleaned this surface, so we're in good shape. You don't want to stretch the tape, you just want to make sure that you have good adhesion. Then we're going to take this piece of paper off. It'll expose the foam. Okay, now that we've applied our foam tape to the latch side on the door stop, we're going to apply it to the top of the door. Start it where the other piece of foam ends, and then peel the paper off. Now that we've got the foam on the latch side of the door and on the top, we're going to apply it to the side where the hinges are. And this is a little bit different. It doesn't go on the face of the door stop, it's actually going to go on the door jamb. So instead of like this, we're going to put it flat. So let's just close the door and keep the cold weather out. We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant. Can you let us know if there's any other areas that the average homeowner or handyman could address that are going to help kind of keep air leaks from coming into the home?
Some of the least noticeable areas might be your baseboards, your electrical sockets, around wood or trim areas.
Okay. The problem we have now is we have cold drafts coming in through the electrical outlets. So we come down to the home center and basically we get a light switch sealer and an outlet sealer. We install those on the light switches and the electrical outlets, and that's going to keep the cold drafts from coming in. Okay, this project is an easy project. What we're going to do is we're going to put a switch sealer gasket behind this switch plate to keep the cold drafts from coming through. First thing you do is you remove the switch plate. In this case we have a double switch, so we're going to use 2 gaskets and we'll need to trim those to fit, and then after we place our gasket on there, We'll replace the switch plate and the screws, and the job's complete. Okay, for an outlet, it's the same process as it is for a switch. It's a slightly different design on the sealer, but it's exactly the same process for installation. We're here with Kelly Parker. Kelly's a national energy efficiency consultant. Kelly, I noticed as I was walking through the house, I've noticed a lot of drafts coming in through the closed windows.
Well, on a seasonal basis, to where you just have a window that may be leaking in one area or one room, and you feel a lot of air, maybe you have a window air conditioning unit or something that you're in and out of that window a lot, a temporary solution would be the shrink and seal wrap. What you're doing is just creating another pane instead of glass. This pane happens to be airtight plastic. And so you're creating an airtight barrier between the pane of glass and your temporary wrap.
Okay, we're here at the home center, and what we're going to try to do today is keep the cold air from coming in through the windows. The best way to do that is with a shrink and seal window kit. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to clean around the window, and then we're going to apply a two-sided adhesive tape around the perimeter of the window. Once the tape is applied, we want the tape to sit for about 5 minutes just to kind of build its adhesive value. Then we're going to come back and we're going to unfold our window insulation film. We're going to place it over the window and push it down onto the two-sided tape. The next step we're going to take is we're going to shrink the window kit down with the hairdryer. Once you've taken the creases out and the window film is nice and tight, you're going to want to trim the excess film off. If it loosens up, just hit it with a hairdryer, it'll tighten back up again. But it's a really easy way to save a lot of energy.